Alright, straight from the edge. It's time for some daytime drama. Over on Y&R. The love's kind of fallen apart since Valentine's Day. Phyllis is in the doghouse with Nick over her testimony, and looks like this trial is in full swing at this point. You know, you have the video from Dark Horse servers. You know, they have the poker, and it's not looking good for the ladies. So as far as Phyllis, she did her best to work the testimony, but of course Cricket had her way with her and turned it all around because she knew what Phyllis was going to do. Trying to help him out. So as far as Victoria taking the witness stand, it looks like that's going to happen. Mainly because they had the whole Mariah and Tessa testimonies, which really made them look bad and cornered them a little bit. Now Michael has a couple of options still, mainly with JT working for Christine and being undercover. I mean, that really puts a conflict of interest, especially as her as the prosecutor or DA. And you know, I guess that'll probably be one of his last weapons in the courtroom to try to salvage it for him. And of course you got Summer being a match for Lola's liver, and you know, her way of going about it with Kyle, I know she wants a good outcome for her and Kyle, but I think that making a little negotiation might not be the best route for her, because obviously it's not genuine. So Kyle needs to come to that, you know, if that's something he really wants down the road. But it's good that Lola will get the transplant. So over on GH, you know, Ryan stabbed Franco because Franco was taking credit for the killings, and he was undercover for Jordan to try to lure out Ryan. And luckily Franco was able to escape, and unfortunately he wasn't able to find Laura and Kevin in the basement. They were able to get out through a tunnel that they found, but he did make it to Elizabeth's, and she was able to stop the bleeding. And remember, she's a nurse, so she did all the first aid, called the police for him, and called the paramedics. They got there. Chase was able to learn what she found out, that Ryan Chamberlain was the serial killer, and that Franco did not do anything to any of these people, which was good that she had her faith the whole way through, and it was really nice to see that aspect of it. So Lulu, Maxie, Mac, and Felicia were also on the case a little bit, figuring out that there was 2 extra girls that were on the list Kevin had, which was actually Ryan. And they realized that Kevin wouldn't have been able to know that, and so they were on the case. Felicia confronted Ryan in the parking garage and realized that it was probably Ryan instead of Kevin. And unfortunately, she got interrupted by Carly, and no, I think that's how it went. No. She got interrupted by Ava, and because they're going on their honeymoon to Niagara Falls. He had already confronted, or Carly had confronted Ryan, and he knocked her out and put her in the trunk because she was going to continue to look into the whole Wilson alias that he had while he was in the loony bin. And she remembered seeing him when she was at the facility, obviously. So Jordan was able to wake up and confirm what Franco said, and Franco made it to the hospital and was fine. So both of them look like they're going to pull through. Of course, Jordan was hit by the car when Drew had lost his vision and had the whole thing all the twins are having. So obviously the phone call that Franco made when he got out of the facility also confirmed for everyone else before Jordan woke up that he was actually on a secret mission. So that was nice that it didn't drag out too long. So Jocelyn and company, they're up at Niagara Falls and of course broke down. And as soon as we saw that and we know the other group is going up to Niagara Falls, there's going to be a crash course. And we'll see how it all plays out. Hopefully nobody else is hurt. You know, Ryan, no good. So Jason also is overhearing. Well, let's step back a bit. So it was pretty cool to see Sam and Jason have a little family time, and they had pick up all the toys and try to be a family, even though they're hiding from the whole Shiloh thing and they're doing the undercover, you know, investigation. But Jason was at the parking garage and he was calling Carly, and of course he hears her phone. It had fallen on the ground, and he went over to inspect it, and the amount of dread Steve was able to put into that, I mean, it was just total command of the character and knowing what to do, and just you could really feel what he was feeling. And so that was the end of that. But later on he was able to confront Kevin a little bit, try to find more about where they might have headed and what Carly might have known about the alias. And he was also over here. Laura was talking with Chase, I think it was Chase, and telling her story. And so he was able to figure out that there was a honeymoon for, I think that's what he heard something, and he headed over to talk to let's see, he talked to, well, trying to think here. Well, he went to Jerome and talked to him, and he didn't get his information from him, but he ended up getting it from the girlfriend, which is, I guess, not what he was expecting. But of course Jason went out and took off with Laura. Laura ended up running into him, and they're gonna head up to Niagara Falls. So we'll see how that all plays out, but of course Jason's right on it, and it's pretty exciting. So over on Bold, Sally, she agreed, you know, to the terms Bill had, and you know, having no title is not going to be too good because it's going to lead to some strife down the road. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, everyone's there for Spectre fashion, so that's going to be the real glue if it's going to go forward. So Hope is also, you know, having this huge devastation from losing the baby, and she's just showing all this range of emotion that you would have in that kind of situation, and hurting and trying to heal, but not feeling, still feeling guilty because her baby had died and she can't do anything about it and doesn't know what to do to keep moving on. So Steffi's getting attached to the baby since she adopted, obviously, Hope's baby, not knowing it, and neither does Hope. But it's not going to be too good when they all realize that Phoebe's actually Beth. And Flo nearly spilled the beans to Hope when she saw her at the bar. So, you know, she's got some moral compass in there, which is nice to see. We'll see how she does at this party she's been invited to. She ran into Wyatt, hadn't realized that he actually was there, and she hadn't seen him in years. And of course he invited her. Sally's gonna be there. It's gonna be interesting how this all plays out, but also Hope and company are gonna be there. So yeah, it looks like there'll probably be some kind of confession. We'll see how much it is. And then, of course, you got Zoe and Xander dropping their accents. They probably got a little tired of it, and I guess this whole competition thing was the best they could come up with to get them out of it. But it's kind of humorous. Just to see, I mean, they probably didn't think maybe they'd be on the show that long, and I guess the accent would be kind of fun to play out. But anyway, so Sally was just radiant, and I'm glad that they've done all this with her character, and it's really going to be fun. Hopefully there's not too much trouble with Flo, you know, and Wyatt and all that. So I really like Sally and Wyatt as a couple, and hopefully they can keep that, you know, as far as they can go and not break them up. So there's a ton of drops out there. Keep researching.